All right, we're at week 14 of our course. A big push this week, and then I promise it'll be mostly downhill from there. The readings for this week, the same 3 sections from the Little Seagull as before. I think these are good references for questions that may come up, especially about integrating ideas. 2 chapters from They Say, I Say are probably useful this week. Skeptics May Object relates to that opposing viewpoint part of your paper. Saying Why It Matters you'll find useful in framing both the introduction and the conclusion. You get your last 2 inquisitive exercises this week. You'll be completed with the whole array of those. Synthesizing ideas, integrating sources, certainly a big part of what you'll be doing in putting this position paper together. In addition to this video, there's one on supporting a claim and another in which I go through the 2 student sample position papers included in this week's module. Point out really the strengths and some of the areas of improvement, some of the areas I would point out if I had the opportunity to conference with those students. And that's that opportunity is something that'll come up next week. But I'd like you to indicate this week when we can set up an instructor conference to discuss a working draft of your paper. So in order for us to have that to discuss, that's the big ticket item this week, is a working draft of your paper. Now, this can be fairly messy, but the more of your paper you have in that working draft, the more effective that conference will be. Also want you to update the working bibliography that you turned in previously, taking out anything that's not going to be useful to you, finding at least 5 more sources to put in it. Again, you have a minimum of 4 sources you have to include in your final paper, but I want you to understand that research is a process. It's not something you do once and forget about it. There will be occasions where you see weaknesses or things that you need to find. And remember that each section of your paper is in itself a mini research project. So you may want to, as you focus in on one paragraph of your paper, be sure that you're finding sources to help you develop, support, back that up. You're not expected to carry the load yourself. Let the sources help. Here's the sign-up sheet, and simply what you'll do for here is, once you click on it, you'll just pick one of these hour blocks during next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's some in the evening, some in the day, especially the afternoons. We won't necessarily meet for the entire hour, depending on, I will probably set that conference up for 30 minutes. There should be plenty of time. So if you sign up for 12 to 1, it may be a case where I send you an invitation for 12:30 and we meet at that time. So pick an hour that you think you'll be free, and then you'll receive an email invitation from me that'll have the meeting time and a link to my Zoom account. Okay? So look forward to those after you do the heavy lifting this week of putting together that first draft. All right. Thanks. Have a good week. Of course, let me know if you have any questions or if we need to talk this week before you get farther into the paper.